goody, we're live. Hello, everybody. Hi. Intro to 5D. Yeah, let's make a 5D world here. Okay, namaste, everyone. Akasha here, Nan Akasha. And what we're going to do today is dive into day 3 of our challenge. So, this is a challenge we're calling the Book of Manifesting Secrets, and it is speaking your reality into being. So, what we've been discussing and activating. So, every day, make sure that you subscribe and get on nanakasha.com as well so that we can stay in touch with you, let you know what's coming up. I might be doing a new moon show on Saturday. I'm looking to see if I can do that. And what's happening is that I am taking you past everything you've heard, some of the concepts, like affirmations, right? They've been around a long time. Is there something wrong with affirmations? No. But in my very first book called Already Rich, Secrets to Master Your Money Mind, I talked about how they're the slow road to transformation. You do need repetition. It is absolutely required to change habits, neural pathways, and all the other places within your body, mind, emotions, and your huge, enormous light body field to interrupt the patterns that we have from our ancestors in our DNA, from our experiences in this life, and from all the things we've said. Oh, I'm never doing that again because I was embarrassed. Oh, I'm never doing that again because I lost money and then I, ended up struggling or whatever. So we literally decree, we use our word as a spell. It is a spell. Even in the Bible, it says in the beginning was the word and the word was God. And that does not mean some person or crabby dude up there looking down on you, judging you. Okay. God means source energy, infinite field, and you and I are a part of that field. So we are literally the divine in a body. And because we're divine in a body, that means that everything we say, think, and feel manifests. So if you understand the Akashic records, you know that it is a record or a hall or a library. There's a lot of ways to look at it, of everything, not just you, but everything everyone has ever said and done throughout the universe since this universe existed. Now, we're all from an infinite field, so that means that we're not bodies. We created a body in order to get inside of the body, in order to play this game called life. And we've manifested a world full of pain, fear, lack, limitation, and we believe it, and we were taught to believe it, and we were taught to live a certain way within it. And now we are literally rising out of that because we are in an evolutionary phase for this decade for sure. And next year, wow, is going to be the most powerful year we've ever experienced on this planet. So we want to pull up the ancient secrets, which is why I've studied with so many different mystery schools, Egyptian mystery schools. I went through three, 4 different ones to become a Melchizedek master, to master the left eye of Horus, the right eye of Horus. That's working with the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine, sacred geometry, symbols, all of the truth of alchemy, which is transmutation. It's literally taking a substance and turning it into something else, the way that a caterpillar turns into a butterfly, or the phoenix goes from being whatever the phoenix is, burning down to ashes, which we consider nothing, but is still full of the life force, the essence, and the wisdom in rebirthing, rising again, which is why our retreats this year are all based around that fire energy, which we're in this year. Things are going fast. Things are transforming. Things are burning down. Things are changing. Things are transmuting. Excuse me, 1 minute. When you understand that nothing outside of you is creating your life. that it feels like, because we were taught, we were conditioned to give our power to doctors and parents and governments and rules and all of these things, and it has felt like in many of our lives that people have done things to us, right? That it's we have manifested all of it. We have attracted it, or we have created it. Now, it's don't get into like but, because then you could go down a rabbit hole forever. And of course, it doesn't mean that we don't care about helping people. Bottom line is, when you feel good right now and you make it a priority to be happy, to be joyful, to be loving, to be grateful every minute of your life, regardless of what's happening. And I know that's not easy sometimes. However, you decree that, you decide that, and you speak that. And every night before you go to bed, you say, thank you, bless me, bless the people that hurt me, bless the people I love, bless my house, bless the world, bless everything. Then you are putting goodwill, you are building goodwill into the world. So you can literally use your words, which are your wand. There's books called that. Your word is your wand, to create a different reality. You don't have to run around and change other people. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't speak up, you don't express yourself, you don't communicate clearly, or you allow people to abuse you in some way. That's not being loving, okay? And it's a confusing thing for a lot of us on a spiritual path with big hearts who've been sensitive most of our lives, empaths, we call it now. There's a lot of trauma because of the realization of the world we live in and what the hell, right? What and hell, yes. It isn't supposed to be that way. And it isn't that we did anything wrong. It's just what is. That's it. Okay. So when we say, okay, this is what is, I accept it, you now go into a state of harmony in your mind. You forgive through your emotional body, which is letting go of a lot of heaviness and mass. You literally carrying mass that feels like a burden. It's overwhelming and confusing to the mind. It's stressful to the body. And stress is the number one cause of money problems, relationship breakups, and disease in the body. So watch yesterday's show, day 2, where we went into very valuable, we went into the masterclass and then the activation around fear and overwhelm and opinions of others, because this is a huge challenge. We have not seen people who know how to live a sovereign life. And we're talking about that word a lot now. Maybe you didn't even know what sovereign meant 10, 20 years ago. I doubt I did. So what does it mean to become sovereign? Well, does it mean that you chase money and you grab things and you compete with people and you work 50,000 hours a week and you think, oh, I'm gonna, it's going to take me a long time, but I'm going to do it. And then I don't care about anybody else as long as I have my stuff, then I feel safe. No. Here's the thing. We're infinite beings, and literally, I keep saying literally, actually, it is a fact. It is truth. It is universal law. It is infallible, and there's no way around the fact that we are the divine. The Maya knew when you were born that you were divine in a body. They knew that you were both. You started your life that way. Could you imagine? You weren't a sinner. You weren't bad. You weren't supposed to try to please your parents and become something you didn't want to do. They found out your birth chart. And I do Mayan birth chart, destiny birth charts, 1111 readings. So go to the shop, check that out. They're extremely powerful and they're very transformational, because Western astrology or any other personality test you've had, they're all interesting, but you've never seen yourself like this. And when you understand every single day, there's an energy, there's an essence, there's a being, if you want to call it that has agreed to carry time. And there's 20 of them, and they're here every single day. And when you understand not just your birth sign, but also the cross is your left hand and your right hand power, that's your sacred feminine power, your sacred masculine power, your conception sign, and your destiny sign. I tell you all of them. I give you the chart, and we discuss what does it mean. Most people are just stunned to discover, wow, that I've never thought of myself that way, but it's so resonant. And imagine we've lived our whole lives not understanding that. It's the same way with this. Just because we haven't been taught, or we don't live in a culture or a world where all the people in our family, at our job, and our school, and so on, understand we're divine in a human body. And we were also, many of us, told, don't think you're God, don't say you're great, don't compare yourself to Jesus, even though it literally says in the Bible, this you can do and more. Be love, love your neighbor. All these beautiful things completely ignored and misinterpreted, like, let's kill each other because I don't believe the same way you do. We have to turn our back on all of these concepts, even though they're prevalent, even though our cultures, our government, and our financial structures are built around them, because they're all breaking down. How they're going to break down, we just have to allow it to happen and walk our path. What we can do to support this transformation in the world, what we can do to help others, ourselves, the planet, animals, the ecosystem, whatever you feel passionate about. Oh, there's a beautiful iguana right out my window. Hi, sweetie pie. Is that we have this ability to decide and to declare and to think and to visualize and to feel and then take action as if it is real, until it is real, because the universe doesn't judge us, and it's ready to deliver anything we desire. Anything we desire. So I want to recommend, because today's about prosperity, and most people think that that's just money. And yes, we will be addressing the idea of money, because everybody wants more money, needs more money, would feel better with more money. But I want to make sure that you don't think, when I get the money, then I can relax, then I'll feel safe, then I'll be happy, then I can focus on my spirituality. Wrong. That's backwards. You can't say, I'll believe it when I see it, because that is not the law of the universe. You have to choose it, decide to put confidence in it, speak it, visualize it, keep embodying. Well, what would it feel like if I didn't worry about money? Maybe instead of I need $1 million, you're like, I have more than enough money for everything in my life that I require to feel peaceful and happy. And I live and walk every day joyful, happy, peaceful, harmonious. I see the source in everybody else. I'm light, I'm love, I'm radiating into the world. So what we can do is literally declare and use our words as the spell, as the program, as the power that they are. The word is the creation vehicle for us, gifted to us from source, to create what we wish to see in the world. And we have within us a blueprint. I call it a spiritual blueprint. Literally in our Janisa crystal, our 8 original cells, in our Dan Chen, just below our belly button, we have an inner umbilical cord. And I teach all this in my classes. So come to my classes. Okay. And then also up here in our soul blueprint, our soul star, our 8th chakra, but our 9th chakra is a gateway chakra to a stellar gateway, which connects us to the field of abundance, or the infinite field, and is the doorway to our path, our power, our programming. And we came here with the most magnificent ideas and potential that we could become. We don't have to wait for it. We have to decide it's here, realize it's here without knowing what it is, and then do what we've been talking about. Let go of the overwhelm, let go of other people's opinions, let go of past hurts, let go and decide we're going to interrupt our failure habits, our fear habits, our waiting until I feel safe. The biggest trap of saying, when I have the money, when this person apologizes to me, when I feel safe, when I've lost weight, when this happens, it's not that you don't have these goals, you don't have these desires. You are infinitely supported by the universe, whether you felt like it or not. It's just the truth. Believe me, I've wandered my whole life learning all this and getting some results and then failing and everything falling apart. And part of that is spirit shedding. Okay, that was great. You learned a lot, but that's not your path. Get off of doing real estate investing. Now try something new. There's liberation that happens to us through all of these things. We don't have to learn through pain and drama. However, it is pretty common for us to do that because it is the one motivator that in this world will actually reach through all of the commitment to do what other people say and the programs we have from living on this planet. We've discussed that in great detail in the last two challenges, and we're going to be going forward into this class on Monday. I want you to know we've created an entirely new payment plan. We have a 2-month, a 5-month, and now an 8-month payment plan where it's only $46 a month, because we have people who wanted to come to this class. They understand how powerful it is. This is going to change every area of your life. This isn't just how to manifest money or how to create a relationship. This is to create you getting back into using your divine given powers and understanding everything's inside of you. Now, I've had a concept of this in different ways. I've studied everything from the Tao, Zen, Buddhism, many Hindu texts like the Bhagavad Gita. I've done yoga and chanting. I've learned with the Mayan wisdom school, the ancient mystery schools of Egypt, of the Greek. I've studied with Native American shamans, and my path has been mostly driven by my pain and my loss. And that's okay. You want to look at, like, my daughter died and then I didn't want to live. So then I had to start all over because everything I believed just died in that moment. I was like, well, screw this. The universe is an asshole and I don't like anybody, right? So then I had to come back into it. So it isn't like I'm sitting here telling you, oh, it's so easy. Oh, I've never had a problem. If somebody tells you that they invented this stuff or that they've never had a problem, don't listen to them. Because if they've never had a problem, they're lying, and or you don't want to listen to them because they don't know how to handle a problem. We all have them. We're here in a body. You're going to have someone die. You're going to trip and fall. You're going to have go for an outcome that's not going to turn out the way you want. It's okay. That's not the point. The point isn't to constantly look good for everyone else. So prosperity. What is prosperity? Prosperity is the ability to prosper. So when a plant or a seed prospers, you could have a little seed that sits there and holds its blueprint. It knows exactly who it is. It has all of its potential inside of it. And some seeds they find are millions of years old and they can still sprout. You might find a tree or an acorn and say, oh, that'll become a tree. No, it's going to become a forest. When you produce a flower and a fruit, it's full of many seeds. If you grow corn from one seed, how many seeds are on each of those ears of corn? This is the multiplication and the extravagant abundance that's natural in our world. And we are no different. When we plant a seed of kindness, it's going to come back to us 10,000-fold. When we plant a seed that says, oh, okay, I'm not being greedy to want more money, more love, more happiness. I'm not being selfish. I'm not taking from anyone else. I'm not offending anyone else. Other people will tell you they're offended. That's fine. That's their choice. We allow them and we come back to our center. Who am I meant to be? What makes me feel good? If you know every minute that you catch yourself, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling worried, if you're feeling stressed, if you're trying to figure out the how do I do this? When do I, how? I spent so much of my life because I've had businesses for many decades. And you when you're in a business, the way we're taught is you got to work hard and you have to do a lot of things and you have to figure out the plan and you have to have a 5-year plan and you got to know where it's going to happen. And then you have to do this and you have to do that. Well, yes, if you decide to do certain things, like if you want to become an Olympic athlete, you can't just sit at home, drink beer, eat Doritos and watch TV and then become an Olympic athlete. There's just certain things that are required for that dream. So if you want to have your own business, yeah, it takes stepping out of your comfort zone. It takes facing your fears. It takes learning how to market. It takes learning a lot of the different things. But it isn't that you need to pay somebody $50,000 for a website, or you need to pay this particular coach because they're bullying you into buying their stuff. Be very, very careful of people who come off desperate and pushy because they are not confident. They do not believe, and they are not aligned with source at the deepest level. And they probably haven't had true success doing what they're teaching. They are success. And I saw this a lot in the coaching world because I was in the coaching world, is that people just hired a coach and learned a system and then became a coach and taught that system. But they never had any success with that system. They only had success teaching that system. Now that's fine. I love being a teacher, but I teach you what I know, what I've experienced, what I've used in the big breakthroughs of bankruptcy and a divorce and losing everything and manifesting 80 properties and making $1 million in my fashion design business the first year, but 3 years later, nobody paying me and the economy collapsing and everybody going bankrupt, even department stores and catalogs, and not paying me. So I've had all these epic successes and epic failures, if you want to call it that. I've gone through life, and that's my path of experience. And I don't use it as a wound or an excuse or trauma. And I want you to do the same. I want you to see that you are prospering because you have gotten to this point in your life. You are prosperous because you chose to come here now, because of the opportunities, because of the accelerated evolution, because of the breakdown. And you're not here going, oh no, this is terrible. Why am I here? I used to know spiritual people who just wanted to get out of their body. They thought it was a punishment to be here. And they're like, just take me. Just take me. The harmonic convergence is coming. Why didn't I just ascend? I'm so pissed off having to be in my body. And that's not the point. If you want to leave, you can. And the universe won't judge you. If you want to come back, you can. You will come back, but not from punishment. You come back because you're on a path of evolution and learning. You're bringing ancient wisdom, infinite wisdom, and you're learning how to embody it and to create with the powers that you have inside of you. And that's what mystery schools did, and mystery schools do. Is Minds of Mystery School. I call it that for a specific reason, because these are truths that, whereas maybe there's some books about these truths, there's very, very few people who've lived them, who stick with them long enough to really embody them, to ponder them, to understand them. So your words have power, and you are already prosperous. So when a seed is planted in the ground, you don't expect it to prosper. All right. Let's say you want to grow tomatoes. You don't go, okay, here's some tomato seeds. You throw it in and you walk away and you ignore it and come back a month later and wonder where the tomatoes are. You know that you have to water it. You have to feed it. You have to make sure it gets enough sun or enough shade, not too much cold, not too much heat, and so on. And every plant is different in what it needs. And so are we. I'm different than you. I have certain desires, certain needs. I love the beach. Maybe you love the mountains. I love, walking and outside, and maybe you like being in the forest. Okay. So there's different things that feed you. Have you allowed yourself to create an environment that you can prosper in? This is what we have to consider. All right. Are we truly supporting ourselves to prosper? And yes, money is a form of prosperity. So is happiness. So our wonderful harmony in our family or in relationships. So is the ability to feel happy and joyful even when you don't see what you want to see. Because if we keep saying, well, when the money shows up, then I'll go to your retreat, you're not going to, because you're backwards. You're literally trying to play a game of basketball, but you don't realize you're supposed to throw the ball in the basket in order to win. It's no fun. It's no fun to play a game if you're really good and nobody else is. There's no challenge. There's no interesting, right? It doesn't inspire you to be different and to show up and to really learn your skills and to practice your skills. And it also is no fun to play a game that you don't know the rules. I didn't let my kids get on the computer or play games until they were like, I don't know, 9 or something like that. And at that time, they're 29 now. At that time, at some point, after that, we had this game like Mario Infinite World, and it was all these different characters like little fur balls and princesses and Mario and all this stuff, and everybody would fight at the same time. So you'd pick a character. Not my favorite idea, but and then my two daughters and Chris and I would all be there with our little thingy do joystick or whatever you call it. I'm not a big game person, as you can tell. And they would be like, okay, 1, 2, 3, go. And then they knew what to do. I didn't know what buttons to push. And they would be like, boom, 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 boom. I would be gone. I'd be dead in like a half a second. And then I'd watch the rest of them, blah, 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 until somebody won. Then we'd start again. And I'd say, well, I don't know what to push. And they'd be like, push C, push C, push A, push C. I'm like, but I don't know what that is. Okay. Either it wasn't marked on the little game thing, or I couldn't see it with my eyes. It was too faint. So it was natural to them. They learned it. They embedded it in their mind. It became second nature. They didn't have to go look, what is B? I'm going to push B. And by then they lost the game. So it's no fun if you're playing a game that you don't understand the rules, or you constantly feel frustrated because you think you figured it out and you start going towards that. So you can't prosper and feel like you can expand and feel like you have a good foundation and feel safe and feel ready to express yourself and to explore who you are and to, try painting, dancing, singing, walking, whatever. It doesn't matter what you want to do. Try it. See if it brings something forward to you. I have degrees in fine arts and design and fashion, and I love art, and I don't paint and sculpt. I used to do sculptures, big, beautiful sculptures made out of, I used to weld. I used to carve, sculpt wood. I did printmaking for a long time. I did all kinds of prints, up to 7 color prints. These are very complex things. I learned to do fashion design, illustration. I've worked with gouache and different things. I'm not very good at watercolors, and painting was never my big thing. But it doesn't matter. You're not doing it unless you really want to become good enough. Like the lady that I buy these paintings from, she's exceptional. And I have one across from me, and I have one upstairs of a turtle, and we have some flamingo paintings, and I love her style. She's a Mayan lady here. And I'm a Jaguar medicine woman. I've been trained in Jaguar medicine, which is a particular priest or priesthood here. This is the moon with the rabbit. This is the tree of life. So there's symbolism in this painting, and power comes from this painting. And I happen to love her style. So it feeds me. It feeds me to have this in my house. It radiates an energy. She puts love and vibration into it, and it becomes a medicine. It becomes a tool that fills my house with a particular energy. And I call on the Balam, I call on the Jaguar every day, many times a day, as my spirit animal, but also as my wisdom, my training as a priestess in the ancient Maya world. And I'm relearning that by studying with the Maya. So next year, late February, March, we're going to be going to Palenque, which is south in the Yucatan, where the priestesses were trained. And it's literally a priestess pilgrimage for men or women for us to reclaim, because that's where we were taken when the conquerors were coming, and we were showed how to download the information we knew, the wisdom of the secrets of the mystery school, the secrets of manifestation, the secrets that we know how to create reality, speak it into being. We know how the universe works. We understand the power of gratitude, not just say thank you, and hope that it's going to magically somehow make something happen. So that's why this is the manifesting secrets, because these are secrets that you may have heard, but you didn't understand really how to use them. And that's what I want to teach you. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, which is why I would like to encourage you to come and take the class. So I've made it as affordable as I can. I've also changed it from twice a week to once a week, so that people who were feeling overwhelmed by that idea can come. So please join us. Now, The thing is that you have this wisdom within you. It is in your DNA, it is in your cells, it is in your life, your different lives, and they all are simultaneous and they're all alive. You can connect with lives when you had wisdom. You were a high priestess, or you were an herbalist, or you were a medicine man, or you were an architect, or you were a star walker, or you were someone who traveled realms, or you were a shaman and you understood how to do soul retrieval. And these are all things that I've learned how to do. So I combine them all. And when you come to the class, you get to be there live with me, as well as all the recordings. Absolutely, because I want you to repeat them. That's a power. Don't forget. And then you can ask me questions, in the class, and you can say, oh, I felt this, and I can look into your field and I can give you feedback and I can do energy work with you. So you get basically some personal private healing and feedback from me without having to hire me as your spiritual mentor, which you can do as well. And that's another power. The other thing that happens in the classes, like the retreats, is the community. We become very close and you can connect with the people and you feel supported by them. And it's easier to prosper, to feel safe the way a seed would feel safe if it was put into soil that was rich, that was watered, that had the right minerals to nurture it as it grew. Then it will break its shell, right? It will break out of its form, its container, which is who we are now. So prospering for us means letting go of who we thought we were, letting go of this shell, this container, the mindset, the beliefs, the emotional commitments, the vows, all the things we've talked about that you carry that create your self-image, and it's what you project into the world and is projected back to you, and everyone is a reflection of that. So if you judge other people and yourself, and then you wonder why people are showing up to judge you, that's why. Because you're the creator and you're putting out judgment. If you blame, if you feel desperate, if you believe in competition and lack the way we've been taught, then you're putting out, well, there's not enough. And what if there's not enough? And what if I can't pay my bills? Or what if I put this class out there, or I start a business, or I do a painting and then nobody likes it, or I get criticized, or I don't make enough money, or I invest in this thing and I don't get the money back. That's what you're creating. So when we're speaking it, thinking it, worrying, and figuring out the how, we're literally interrupting our ability to prosper. So prosperity is when something feels safe to break out of its shell. That's why the phoenix is such an incredible, iconic archetype for us right now, because it burns down its identity. The caterpillar turns to goo inside of the cocoon and then reforms without anything added. It's already inside, just like us. So we already have within us everything that knows what to do, who we could become, all this potential way beyond what you could imagine. So you could go and have the wildest dream in the world of you being happy and blissful and full of joy and waking up with a smile on your face and feeling safe in the world, and going everywhere and saying, everywhere I go, the most beautiful, friendly, harmonious people, and doors open and synchronicities happen. And that's just the truth of who I am. That is not stupid. It is not silly, and it is not unrealistic. That is actually what you are meant to do, because the universe is here saying your agreement with the universe is to prosper. Your agreement with the universe is to live a happy, loving, peaceful, creative life in whatever way you want to do that. So if you don't I don't want to work 80 hours a week, you're not supposed to. I don't want to chase money. I don't want to become one of these greedy rich people that I see. This is a common thing. People say, oh, I don't want to become that, right? Just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean you have to become that. And if someone else has done something that you would like to become, like a best-selling author or something, you can do it. It's already done. If you have a desire for it, it's already done, and it's already inside of you. And you are the radiant field, and everything is inside of you. It's not outside of you. It's not outside of you. It's not outside of you. So you are the seed. You are the divine seed, and everything has been encoded into you, whether it's in your chakras, in your light body, in your mind, or so on. We have a plethora, a whole lot of these programs that say it's not safe to prosper, it's not safe to be seen, it's dangerous to have money because you'll be attacked. And this is based on a lot of the things we've talked about up to this point. So, what do we do now in order to prosper? What is the secret? We're going to take the shortcut today to the secret of prosperity. The secret is that what makes you feel good? What makes you feel good? How does it feel to feel safe, calm, happy, and willing to fully be in your body right here in this moment? Not be afraid you're going to be attacked or betrayed, not afraid to be seen, not afraid to ask for what you want, not afraid to prosper, not worried about being criticized or ridiculed. I've had it all. I've been there. My clients have been there. Don't let anybody tell you they haven't been there. This is normal. So don't get down on yourself, because that just interrupts your prosperity. Okay. So number one, to the secret shortcut, is you've got to decide what it feels like for you to feel good, feel safe, feel happy, feel this. Now, be careful, because when you start to write down what you want, that's a desire that comes from belief in lack. And when you say, I want this, where's the money? When's it going to happen? I did my meditation. I said this. I did these things that Nan told me to do, but it's not, nothing's changing. Now you're literally stopping everything that was starting to reform, everything that was vibrating in a different way, everything the universe was doing to say, oh, good, she's ready to be her infinite riches, which are inside of you. You are the treasure house. You're literally the bank, the universal bank. You are the treasure house that has infinite. And there's literally, you can't drain that bank. It's not like, what if I use the money up and then there's no more? There's no such thing in reality. That's our belief, and we make it true. So if you're like, but I have used up all my money. I retired with a bunch of money and now I don't have any because I invested in a whole bunch. I know a lot of people, and I've done this myself, who come into some money and then they immediately run out and start doing things they like. They take a lot of classes, they go to a lot of retreats, they buy things and houses and cars and whatever, maybe little things or whatever, fancy sunglasses and things, because they're like, well, I haven't had this and I should be able to have it. You want to look at the energy. Okay. Secret to prosperity is to look at the energy. Why? Okay, let's go back to the seed that you planted in soil, in a pot. If you dig it up every day and say, yeah, are you growing yet? Are you growing yet? When are you going to grow? You're going to kill it, right? It's not going to feel safe. So if you keep diving in, when is it happening? Why isn't it happening yet? Instead of saying, I'm steadily nurturing my dream. I'm understanding a little bit deeper. Oh, I like that. I thought this was my goal. I thought I really wanted to become this, but the deeper I go into feeling the way I really want to feel, that's the energy that you're feeding, you're nurturing, you're nourishing yourself with. So that has to be there, because that's like food, that's like air, that's like water for your spirit. Okay. And when you say, well, what would I like to feel every day? If you wake up every day angry, frustrated, disappointed, afraid, you're happy for a little while, but then you're not, or you're good, and then somebody cuts you off in traffic and you immediately react. Okay, these are habits. That's all they are. Habits are not typically the easiest thing to change. So we go underneath the habits to the core truth. And that's why these secrets are so powerful, because if you go in and you start understanding the laws of the universe, you know how to play the game. You know how to have fun at the game, and you know how to win the game. So winning a game isn't about beating that person and conquering them and taking their stuff, which we've seen happen on the world. So when we say, I want to be sovereign, then we think of landlords or kings or queens or dictators, okay, in our history. And we collectively have believed in the fact that these people are mean. They're not altruistic in general. They're very abusive. They take They come, like the Spanish came here, like many, many places on the planet. People came, the Spanish came here, and they found these beautiful cultures, the Maya and the Aztec, who were living in absolute harmony, that had the most incredibly clean ways of growing agriculture, and they were clean, and they had roads that still exist, and they were mapping the Milky Way when the Europeans still thought the world was flat, and were having the plague, and were poisoned by their own poop, and they didn't understand these things. The Maya weren't that way, and the Aztecs weren't that way, and many, many other cultures had already. They had this gorgeous way of life. They understood they were divine and human, and so on and so on. So I'm not criticizing any. I'm from European descendants, so I'm a German, Scotch, Irish, Celtic blood lineage. So it's not to criticize, it's to acknowledge that, yes, we have an understanding in our history, and therefore a fear in our history of being one of those prosperous people, and taking back our crown, taking back our royal and our regal right to declare and to own a scepter or a wand or a staff of power, whether you were a sage, whether you were a wizard, whether you were Merlin, whether you were a magician, whether you were a shaman. All of these different people, including the royals, understood that these other laws of the universe at these higher levels, these vibrational levels, unseen out of the physical, they know. And don't fool yourself, the people at the highest levels now also know this. They're not just randomly working hard and making money, okay? They were taught this. It's in their DNA, it's in their ancestor, it's in their lineage, it's in their patterns. And the people like Andrew Carnegie, who came from poor roots and then became the richest person in the world through different things, then he turned around and took his billions of dollars and spent his life building libraries for across America, even in other countries. He did good with his money. So he knew that there was a give and a take. So we don't really understand, because we're seeing now the breakdown of people we've put on a pedestal. We've given away our authority, and we talked about this yesterday, to all sorts of people. And now the mask is coming off. We're raising our consciousness, and we're starting to see that these people aren't necessarily altruistic, or they're both, which is more common. Some people do some things that are not so good, and some things that are very good. So you might have somebody who's being very, very prejudiced and racist, and at the same time, they give a lot of money to certain foundations. That's more human nature. We're a little bit of both. Now, what we're doing is making a choice. And when you make a choice to prosper, you don't just serve yourself. You serve everyone in your ancestry, everyone going forward, and everyone in your environment. That might be friends, family, people you work with, people you serve, in whatever you do. So your choice to prosper must come first. Your decision. Okay. So I want to tell you, we're talking about your words create reality. I want you to stop sabotaging yourself with your words. Stop speaking the same story over and over. Oh, I never succeed. Oh, I have this stress. Oh, I'm so weak. I'm an empath. Listen to the classes we've done. We talk a lot about this. Then you're creating it, and you did create it. So when you say, okay, I created that, now I'm ready to create something different, and I'm not going to get into judgment or anger that I wasted half my life. I mean, I'm 65. Okay. I sometimes I do go, oh, look at all the time that it took for me to realize this and learn this. But along the way, I was always seeking my joy, my bliss. It's in my nature. I was always finding a way to be happy, even when everything was falling apart, even when I was disowned, even when my daughter died, even all these things. Okay. And that's what we have to choose. Now I understand deeper and deeper, and I embody deeper and deeper these truths, because you want them to become natural. You're replacing the ideas in your head, in your brain, in your nervous system, and everywhere else inside of you that says, oh, you can't, you won't, you don't, there's not enough. None of that is true, but you have to be the one that decides. So you need to know what you want to feel like. You need to decide that right now, from this moment forward, you're going to commit to that. And I told you in the first class, you've got to show up and be willing to hear this, to listen to this, and not say, oh, yeah, I heard this before. Believe me, I heard all this stuff 40 years ago. And about 2-3 years ago, I had eye surgery, ear surgery. I couldn't walk on the beach every day where I live. I couldn't even leave the house for almost 2 months, wasn't allowed because of my eyes. I couldn't see, I couldn't read, I couldn't write, I couldn't do all the things I like to do for a serious amount of time. And instead of getting upset about it, I did try to figure out how to make it happen. And then I surrendered. And I said, okay, what is the deeper meaning to this? I'm not going to subscribe to the idea that this is bad, that poor me, I don't get to go outside and do the things I like, and I can't exercise now. And now I have to just sit here and be miserable until I succeed, till I'm finished healing, and then I can be happy again. Don't do it. Don't agree to anything in your life, regardless of, like, you broke your hip, you have, my mother used to walk 5 miles a day, and then she's 92. And then, I don't know, 5 or 8 years ago, she fell off her chair. She broke her leg and her hip, and she's never recovered the ability to walk without a cane. So she still goes for a walk, but she isn't able to do her true joy. And so she figures it out. She finds a way to be happy, and then to say, well, what is the gift of this? So maybe if you are laid up in bed with a broken leg, or you have a limit to what you can do because you don't have enough money to go do a bunch of stuff that you want to do, instead of feeling like I'm denied, what does it feel like if you are supported, if you are nourished, if you have everything you require already within you and around you, and you start to ask to see it, you start to ask for it to uncover. Manifesting means to make appear to your senses. That means it's already there and it's in here. So you don't have to chase it. You don't have to take it from anyone else. You don't have to get anyone else's permission. When the seed then is planted in rich soil and it is given the right environment. Okay, listen, secret: environment. What is your environment? Do you live with people who yell, who criticize, who watch the news all the time? Do you eat bad foods? Do you listen to negative people? Do you repeat things? What are you feeding yourself? Okay, now oh, I'm just like that seed. If I don't nurture myself in the right way for me, it's going to be very difficult for me to prosper. Then what happens? At some point, that seed starts to feel good, feel safe. It feels like the warmth, the environment is right. It's finally time to break out of that shell, break out of that egg, break out of that cocoon, and start to put roots down. So you must feel safe inside of yourself and create environment. That's part of the secret shortcut. These are things you can do that align with the laws of the universe, that will make a massive difference for you and will make the environment until you allow it. Now, if it may happen in 1 minute and it may take 6 months, it really is up to you, and don't judge yourself. Okay? Because sometimes we are really coming from deep, deep places of believing that the trauma, believing in our weakness, believing in our disability, believing in people who tell you, oh, you have to take all these pills, and then they're actually poisoning you and fogging your brain up and making you unable to focus, or the things we talked about yesterday: fear, overwhelm, and so on. What happens is that seed now breaks its shell, its protective shell. We are all living in a protective shell. We've learned to survive. We've learned to survive inside of the paradigm that we were told and agreed to was real. Now we're waking up and realizing, oh, that's not really true. Oh, I don't have to do that. We live in a very different time. We do not have to subscribe to our culture or our family and do exactly like they do in order to be safe. We do not have to belong to any particular group. We can find a soul family. We can find a community, which is what happens in my retreats and in my classes, and we can find a place where we are nourished, we are nurtured. I take time every day to activate my light body, to be outside, to allow the sun to feed me, to do certain things, to walk, to move my body. If I can't get outside and can't do that for whatever reason, I dance, I do weights, I do something, right? I take care of my body. I eat in a very, very certain way because it supports me to be the best that I can. And the most important thing to me is that I embody my spiritual duty and purpose, which is to be rich, wealthy, happy, healthy, and serve and uplift others. Now, rich in material ways, rich in spiritual ways, rich in relationships, rich in all different ways that richness could come to you. Oh, such a beautiful day. I drink in the beauty around me in my eyes, and it feeds me to look at the beach, to look at my plants, to look at my cat. So now you break your shell and you start to put down roots. You can only do that if you feel and decide, I'm safe and I can do this. Being safe does not mean you have $100,000 in the bank. You've achieved a certain status in your job. You have a certain house, a certain car. You have to decide how you feel when you are safe without the proof around you of anything. This is one of the secrets. Then what happens next? Now the seed sprouts. The sprout starts to come up. But a lot has to happen inside of that seed. A lot has to happen in the dark soil. It doesn't happen in front of you. You may not know it's happening. You have to keep your faith. You have to decide it's already happening within me. I'm feeding this truth. Every time I catch myself and don't speak against myself and say, oh, it never works out for me. Oh, there's not enough. Oh, it'll never happen. Oh, I need to see it before I believe it. Stop sabotaging yourself. Learn where the buttons are. Learn the rules of the game. These are the rules of the game. Now, when you feel safe enough to put some roots down, and it's not into a place on the planet. Yeah, I love my house, but it isn't what makes me feel safe. It's lovely to own a house, but what makes me feel safe is me, is that inner choice to put roots down within me and free my sacral from shame and embarrassment and hiding and all kinds of other forms of guilt and not enoughness that I lived with for most of my life. Then you feel, oh, now the natural part of you feels like it can expand. And expansion, increase, growth is natural. It is in all nature to want to expand, to express, to grow, to unfurl. A fern has those little spirals and then it starts to unfurl. For the spiral comes out. I have monstera plants. They have these huge leaves. And when it gets a new one, it grows out of the stalk and it's this small little tightly bound thing. And then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, but it's all wound up. And then when it's ready, it feels good. It feels safe. It has grown its root. It has grown its ability to support its expansion. Then it starts to unravel. And it takes a couple of days and that leaf unfolds. And then it expresses itself and its beauty. And I talk to my plants. I kiss them. I love them. I talk to my mangoes that I eat. I kiss them. I love them. I thank them for what they've given. We must remember every single thing is source. Every single thing is source. That means even something and someone you think is bad, they're source too. So it's a big, deep thing we're going into here. So you understand the secret to prosperity is to create an environment you can prosper in. And you need to decide, well, how would it feel if I felt safe enough to let myself express myself, discover who I really am, let my guard down, go deeper into my heart center, all the things we've talked about. Okay. So let's say hi. Hi, Arietta. Oh, you're so real and beautiful. Well, thank you. What a beautiful thing. I'm going to just take that in and like a beautiful ray of sunshine. I truly appreciate that. Thank you. Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Jillian. I'm traveling just now, so I've not managed to catch the live, but I can. Wow, good. Thank you for joining us. Even had a moment of, Can we afford this month of traveling? Oh, yes. And so that's fun. Like, do you want to? My good friend Lisa Barnett with the Akashic Knowing School. You may know that last month I went to San Francisco. I spoke at her conference. I did a retreat for four of my ladies in a house, and then I spoke at the New Living Expo. And Lisa came to my event, and we had an epic day, and I spoke at her event. And she's now traveling for a month with her family in France, and they're going to all kinds of Mary Magdalene places. She just was at an incredible cave that it took 3.5 hours to climb up to this cave and back down, when she said it was totally worth it, So when you feel inspired like that, there's a way. There is a way. And that's why we have to start to say, I'm willing to listen to those desires in my heart and not feel afraid of them and guilty of them and worried about it. And then, because I did it. And the thing is you might do it while you still feel some fear. That's okay. We went into that yesterday, right? Okay. So now let's dive in a little bit deeper before I go on and on too much. So I wanted you to understand. Now you understand a lot of that incredible ability, right, to see and sense the truth of who we are, the truth of what is going on, and the truth of the planet. Okay, that's not what we want. I want to show you this. Okay, so if you go to the shop, you'll see Create Your Own Reality. This is the class we're going to do. There's our retreat next month. And this is the one where I told you it's once a week. You get the recordings. If you don't show up live, it's perfectly fine. If you show up part of the time live, that's fine too. Do whatever you need to do, because this will change your life. And we have an 8-month payment plan now for only $46 a month. So I'm really giving this to you in a way that I want you to understand this is going to change your life, and I want you to activate the divine supply that's already within you. So if you have a dream to go travel, and that's one of my favorite things to do, the universe wants you to. You literally came here with an agreement that I will live a happy life, I will live a joyful life, I will live a generous life, I will do what inspires me, I'll explore the world if that's what you like, I will create, I will imagine, I will be kind to others, I will love myself and everyone else unconditionally. This is our agreement with the universe. And when we do that, it shows up to support us. Okay. So, sorry, you'll see a lot of the other things here on the shop page. And then we have such powerful possibilities to come together now and support each other in this accelerated time, this fire time. And it's very important because it can feel very scary when things change very fast, right? It can feel very scary to allow ourselves to let go of who we were, because even if we don't like it, it felt safe. And that's the familiar aspect of habits. And that's what tends to make habits feel hard to let go of, but they can die in a moment. I can promise you that when my daughter died, in that very instant, everything I believed died in that moment. It never came back. It was completely gone. And that's not the ideal way to do it. And yet, if that happens to you, something epic happens to you. The same way with, oh my gosh, I got this vision of us traveling around France for a month. Oh, I can't do that. The first thing people do is say, I can't, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, this. Stop and say, ooh, well, that's interesting. If that came from inside of me, I wonder if that's really what my soul is ready for. Is that what it's calling me to? Because it is. And then you say, I don't know how. Please say that. I don't know how, but this is going to happen. I don't know how, and here's how it's going to feel. I don't know how, but this is what it's going to look like. That is what we need to do to get the shortcut to where we're going. So today we're doing our 3rd day of the book of Manifesting Secrets, of speaking our reality into being. And you're literally the creator of your reality. There's nobody else inside of you. So we're going to go to this next step. This is the secret shortcut to speaking prosperity, peace, and possibility into being. Now, why is peace here? Because people think prosperity requires 80 hours a week and doing things you don't like and going to jobs you hate. This is not true. In fact, that depletes you. It does not support you. So we started the first day. Let's see if that was here. Yeah. And we went through this door. You see this door here. We opened the book of secrets, which is in your Akashic records, which is within you. And all the symbols and power and mystical language came out and is now moving around. Then we entered this door to our subconscious, where all possibilities exist that we could become, and all the things we believe and we have created exist. That's where our power is, inside of us, not outside of us. Now, you see here in this image, we're inside of that place where we've gone through the doorway. Okay. So now you see the light and the sun and the waterfall and the growth and the path leading you. And there's another gate. What's on the other side of that gate? There's not even a wall there. It's the light, it's the sun, it's new infinite possibilities. So the beauty is when you start to say, everything is within me, I am divinely loved, I am divinely prospered, I'm supported by the universe. There's nothing that is held with me. The universe is showing up, not judging me. I'm the only one judging. The universe does not say, why did it take you so long to get here? Oh, well, you're going to have to go pay that karma back. We have a completely misunderstanding about karma and reincarnation. We are divine and we are eternal and we never change. We just embody different lives. We have different experiences, and therefore we make decisions that then create the life we have now. And we're here now to burn down all the structures that we've created that limit us and limit other people, that keep attracting dictators into our life, that keep attracting war and lack and abuse and all the things that we see. Now, don't see it as if it is real. See it as if it is a projection from our past, our history. Oh, that's right. We've lived this. We've been creating that. Good. I'm going to start creating something new. So several years ago, I go to the Mayan temples, usually at least once a week around here. I talk to the spirits. I see energy. I channel everything. I travel dimensions. This is just my normal life after lots and lots of breakdowns and lots of training and lots of finding my way through the darkness of my own personal pain. And that's why I'm here to support you in wherever you are. I want you to also be uplifted, and then together we can co-create the world of bliss and love and life, because next year we will have a portal into the 52-year era of peace. But we can't just be, uncontrollable, controlled by others in fear, and then just wait until the end of 2027 and walk through the doorway. It's not going to happen. Your vibration has to change. So speaking prosperity, we've talked about what does it mean to prosper. You have to feel safe. You have to have a good environment, and that comes from you. You decide it, you speak it. If you live in a place where everybody argues, you decide that you're going to find peace inside that place, and pretty soon those people will not be around you, or you'll make new choices to not spend time around them, or those people will fade out of your life, or other things will change, okay? You don't have to go tell people off, although if it's appropriate, then please speak up for yourself. Now, prosperity is one aspect of this. Why do we have to have peace? Well, I was at the Temple of Venus on the top of, almost the top where we like to sit. And I went to this Mayan site called Sibil Chaltun, and it's an initiation site. And it's one of the sites where literally kind of like this, on the equinox, several of my retreats, we've gone there. The sun rises through this temple doorway, and it hits you here, and it activates a whole new level, and it downloads frequencies. The sun comes through the temple, and then the frequency of that sunlight is transformed by the energies in the stone, in the structure, in the ancients, in the intention, and so on, and all the people who were trained and initiated there. And we get 7 initiations. We keep moving forward. It rises again, another one. It's quite profound. So I was there, not at this time. I was just there on a normal day. And we sat down. Chris was here. The little dog came with us and climbed the pyramid with us. And I sat down and I started to drop in, and I thank the ancestors. I talk to the guardians of the land. I make sure that we're all in alignment, that we're respecting the stones, the light, everything's alive, and that we're protected, we're safe. Like, we're not how to be protected from bad things, but we need to be respectful of these energies. And then I was dropping in. Chris was starting to go into his thing. All temples are stargates. They're all portals. They all hold wisdom. They're all books in stone. They're libraries in stone. And I opened my eyes. I was inspired to open my eyes. I could feel that we were starting to open this. I could feel my back against the temple, opening the doors inside the temple, things that happened to me a lot. And then I was inspired to open my eyes. And I looked this way, and all along this, I saw these grandmothers. And we were spaced about maybe 10 feet apart. And there was one, and then another, and another. And then I looked the other way. This is with my physical eyes. And the same thing. There was Chris, and then a grandmother, and a grandmother, and a grandmother. Everyone was a different culture, had different clothes, but they were all sitting very like I was, like, with my back against it. I don't sit cross-legged unless I'm in a very deep transformational experience. And then what happens is my body can do things it can't normally do. But I was, like, okay, this is profound. Well, they told me they're called the prosperity dream weaving grandmothers. And why prosperity? Sounds odd for spiritual beings. And if you have my oracle deck, you understand that the prosperity grandmothers, they weave from the infinite field. They're timeless, they're ageless, and they know all time. They see and understand that we're eternal. They weave from all the energies in the universe, and they're watching over us, helping us to weave a tapestry of our lives. And if you say, I'm ready to no longer create my life with any more victim ideas, then you can ask them, and they will start to take those threads out, so to speak, and bring in threads of prosperity. If you say, I feel good, I feel safe, I feel this, I feel this, I feel this, I feel this, even when you are just starting to declare it, just starting to figure out what you want to feel, they will come. Now, after that experience, they came to me and they said, we need to do a class. And that's the Prosperity Magic class, which is in my shop if you would like to get it. And what was powerful was it was the sacred feminine path to prosperity, which was a big deal for me because even though I'm feminine and I do a lot of intuitive work and all that, I've also lived my life very masculine. I make it happen. I go out, I built businesses and all that. So the first principle was peace. And they insisted on it. It was not an option. Peace. First, peace. Then purpose. Then you reclaim your power, right? Then you begin to prosper and so on. So the first thing is peace. And that peace is inside of you. Why? Because think about the seed. If the seed has trauma and drama and too hot and too cold, that's not peace. So it can't prosper. It doesn't feel safe to put its roots down. It doesn't feel safe to sprout and to expand. You want to sprout. You want to express yourself. You want to discover who you are. You may not have a clue who you are. This is very common. That's okay. It's a really fun discovery process. Why? And then possibility, because you're full of infinite amounts of possibility that you already decided you wanted to be. So you came with everything you needed to do it. I say you're on a fully funded mission. That was a download from a very long time ago from another spirit guide that I had, that you're here on a fully funded mission. So you have to stop thinking, oh, I'm alone, I'm abandoned, I'm condemned, and all the rest of it. I'm just looking for the prosperity grandmothers here. There you are. So that is why. Now, this is a shortcut because if you listen to what I'm saying, you can cut out years, decades, and lots of struggle and lots of drama to begin your path of prospering. But that path may not be tomorrow you made $1 million or tomorrow you suddenly have harmony in your marriage. You allow it to unfold in the optimal way. And divine timing does not mean wait. I used to think it meant, oh, wait until some random thing in the universe decides I'm good enough. It's not true. What divine timing means is that you have done these things and you vibrationally are opening these doors. You are acknowledging that you are the source of everything. You're acknowledging that this is in here, even if you don't know how. And now you are showing up in this now moment, aligned with what's possible in this now moment. And that's divine timing. You show up in the right mood and attitude in the right moment when all of these possibilities are available, because today is a day of today is actually a very powerful Mayan energy day. Ah, here she is. So if you have the deck, if you don't, we have some available in the shop. And we also have the course, and I will have them at the Canada retreat that you can take home without shipping. So I'll just stop sharing for a second. So you can see here, where are you? There you are. Okay, this is the grandmother that I saw sitting closest to me. And we started to move through time. The whole temple moved and started to sort of fly through time and space. And then we would land and we would all be sitting there watching. They told me they're watchers. And we were in ancient China. And then we moved and we were somewhere else. We were in Persia. And we just, this is what happened during that particular experience that I had. So you can see that she's weaving with the full color spectrum. She's weaving, and we have all these different symbols. There's the infinity symbol. There's the sacred spiral. Here's the flower of life. She's weaving and creating. And she says she's timeless magic, grandmother wisdom, which we know is the best wisdom, because that's wisdom from experience. It is not wisdom from being perfect. It's not wisdom from taking things. It's not from being desperate. It is total understanding and self-acceptance, eternal prosperity, eternal. It's always here. I can always be prosperous. I'm never going to use up the resources. It's okay. Source, okay? Knowing your source, creating from source, 1212, and manifesting in flow, in flow. We're meant to flow. We're meant to flow out from us and into us. These are very deep, deep concepts. So you'll feel that. Ooh, we're in Sweden to go over the Arctic. Oh, wow. Lisa is a very beautiful person inside and out. We've known each other for 15 years or more online. We got to meet for the first time, and we've just quantum leaped our relationship to another level. She gave me all of her Scotland pictures to put on my Scotland page, which is coming. Very few spots in that one. That's happening in September. So the prosperity that we have access to is within us. It is infinite, and it can take any form and any shape, but we do have certain things that we truly believe in, that we already came with, that we know, that we've decided that when we get to this point, we're going to open that door, and we're going to remember what it was like to be a priestess, or to be generous and kind in everything we do, and what we say, and to see divine in other people, or whatever it is. Okay. So that's the class. That's the Canada retreat. Watch the show on Monday with Diana. It's worth it just for the activation at the end. I've been doing that one again myself. I've also repeated the last 2 days of this class. I've listened to some of the class, even though it came through me, and I've done the activation. So I highly recommend it, because these activations that come through me are working on your lineage, your cells, your mind, every level. Okay. And then this is our Scotland pilgrimage that is coming up. I think I've finally, Spirit has moved me around. There's going to be 2 parts of it. We're going to go to Rosalind and to Callanish stones. We're going to be in the Isles. We're going to work with the water dragons. You can see her here. We're going to work with the unicorn energies. We're going to go to the castles, especially Stirling, where the tapestries of the unicorns are, but also where all of the kings and queens were crowned. And that's quite significant, because we're taking back our sovereignty. We're going to work with the Magdalens, which is a sacred feminine energy line. We're going to work with the symbols at Rosalind Chapel, you can see here. And we're going to do all this inside of a beautiful sacred container with only 9 or 10 of us, because there's places we're going that have very few accommodations. So I already have them reserved, and we are good to go, but already 2 spots are taken. So let me know if you're interested. And this is a little bit about it, but I'm going to do more later. 2nd to 4th will be in Edinburgh, Rosslyn, and Stirling doing the unicorn. Then we're going to go to the Isle of Lewis, Isle of Harris, Isle of Skye, where the Callanish stones are, the fairy pools, the fairy glens. We're going to go to the Highlands. We're going to be in Loch Ness. We're going to be going to lots of different amazing places. Okay, so now I wanted to share some quotes with you, because most people know Maya Angelou, and she's an amazing and beautiful woman who wrote and did not have an easy life, and that challenges that she had in her life and that she saw around her inspired her to speak and write beauty into the world. Wisdom. Words open doorways. Words become portals. Words can trigger memories. Words create worlds, and words destroy worlds. Okay. And you are the creator and the destroyer. So prosperity comes from being willing to burn down the forest and let the seeds that are there that need to sprout and need room and need their own space to grow to start to come up. And it also comes from speaking into being the reality that you wish to see, you wish to embody until it manifests around you. Don't stop. Okay. So she said, someday we'll be able to measure the power of words. Now, there's a lot of science now that can take a picture of our auric field or measure our brain waves and these different things. And it's very valuable to know what brain wave you're operating on. That's another one of the secrets that people know who create great wealth and success and happiness, is that they're broadcasting, they're thinking, they're feeling. They know that they're a frequency, and that if they put out a frequency, they'll attract the same frequency. So someday we'll be able to measure the power of words. I think they're things. I think they get on the walls, they get into the wallpaper, and they get into your rugs, your upholstery, and even in your clothes. And finally, into you. It's quite significant. Ponder that. There's this other person, I don't know who they are, but they said words have energy and power with the ability to help, to heal, to hinder, to hurt, to harm, to humiliate, and to humble. So it's a very, very, very important to understand the power of your words. Now, we're talking about what's the energy underneath the words. What's the intention in the words? What are you thinking? Are you thinking a negative thought while speaking a positive thought? Then you're sabotaging yourself. You're speaking prosperity, but you're thinking lack, and then the energy that you feel underneath it. So all of these affect each other, and then they affect how we act. And you can act, you can feel good, and then that will start to help your thoughts and so on. Words have energy and power. Your words can help you and others. They can heal you. That means becoming whole again. That's physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, in relationships, whatever. Where do you want some wholeness, some harmony? It can hinder you. They can hinder you. That means they block you. They get in your way. They trip you up. And they can hinder other people as well. If you hurt other people with your words, it's going to come back and hurt you. Don't think that there's a harmless word that comes out of you. There isn't. Hurt, harm, humiliate, and humble. Now, humble doesn't mean like, oh, be weak and pathetic. Humble means acknowledge that you're the divine and you have these powers within you. Okay, so now we're going to go into just a little more and we're going to do the activation. So how to speak a new future into existence. We've talked about that because you have to have that environment in which you are willing to sprout. You're willing to trust yourself. You're willing to go inside. You're willing to find your voice. You're willing to listen to your inner authority. You're willing to break your shell and root. You're willing to then sprout. You're willing to let yourself expand a little bit, a little bit, a little bit until you're this enormous tree. And then you're growing flowers, and then you're spreading pollen, and then you're growing fruits, and you're feeding yourself, and you're feeding the world, and you're bringing juicy, delicious, nourishing fruits to the world. And then you're spreading seeds of abundance, seeds of prosperity, seeds of love. This is what our duty is, our dharma is. This is what we agreed to the universe, is that the universe will prosper us whatever we do, but it will give us exactly what we want. It will not judge us. It will not stop us from creating war and abuse, and it's not going to judge. And when we decide we want to create happiness and joy, it'll support that too. It's just we have to start from where we are. So you're speaking your future right now. Every single thing you say is speaking your future. The past and the present and the future all exist in the present moment. There's nothing but the present moment. So the more that concept, and it was very difficult for me to get to the concept of be in the now, be in the present moment. But I'm like, but I want this thing that's not here and it's out there. It's all here. It's all here. It's only here. Now, we also talked yesterday about your nervous system and being overwhelmed and having adrenal stress and having these things. So, your nervous system responds to your words. That's why I told you start to describe how do you want to feel? What will it feel when you feel safe, when you feel calm, when you're present? You say, wow, imagine what would it actually feel like if I just was like, I want to go on the Canada retreat. Oh my gosh, yes, I can see it. My heart's on fire. I'm going to meet people who are going to be my best friends. I'm going to be in a community. I'm going to be near nature. I'm going to have these ahas. I'm going to transform. Oh my gosh, I can tell. This is what my soul is drawing me to. This is going to be amazing. And then your nervous system is going to calm down, right? It's going to calm down. It's going to relax, and it's going to be able to bring you peace, right? And align you with your purpose. The balance between inspiration and belief. I'm going to talk about that in a moment before we dive in. And then I want to talk about how to create greater abundance, harmony, confidence, joy, and peace. We've kind of touched on that because you have to have this foundation. You can't dig the seed up. Why isn't it happening? Where is it? It's not here yet. You're doubting, and your doubt is literally killing your dream, the seed that you decided. So you want to, oh, wait a minute, there I am again. Catch that pattern. It's called pattern interrupt. Tony Robbins, everybody kind of understands that now. If you've done any studying with classic books or understanding beliefs, we have to interrupt our old patterns, our inner thoughts, and choose instead of lack. Now, if you haven't heard me, because I've been teaching this for I don't know how long, decades, but you just take a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, and you have two columns. On one side, on the left side, is going to be your poor girl or your poor mind or your fear or whatever you want to call it. It is what you're speaking now. It is what you're experiencing now. It is what you're becoming aware of is not what I want in my life, and I'm done with it. And I'm going to say that. I'm done with this. I'm done with feeling not good enough. I'm done with lack of money. I'm done with hoping and praying and never getting the results I want, whatever it's that's happening to you. I'm done hiding at home. I'm done whatever it is, okay? Then you write that down on one side. You must replace it. You must substitute it. And if you read Florence Scovel Shinn, if you read Neville, if you read Joseph Murphy, if you read the Emerald Tablets, if you read the ancient books from all cultures, you understand alchemy means to transmute what you're currently see and are creating into something else. So lead into gold, something that's lead is helpful for some things, but if you don't want lead, you want gold, you want something that's shiny and beautiful and full of joy and feeds you and lights up the world, then that's your choice. Now you have to decide. So greater abundance, greater harmony in your relationships. I've was disowned by my mother. I've had lots of different traumas in my life with family. I was adopted. My daughter died. I adopted my twins. So I have a very interesting, very colorful more life. And it hurt me deeply to be separated from my family, not just because I felt abandoned, betrayed, I didn't feel loved. I felt scared because I was going through my divorce and suddenly I had nothing and I was, all kinds of stuff was happening. So I didn't say, oh, I need my mom's approval. I want it back. It was a very challenging experience. And it took me 8 years before I was willing to reach out to my mother again. Because if I reached out to her with that same desperate feeling, I'm not good enough. I want her. I want her to love me. I want her to say she's sorry. I want to be acknowledged. I need to be approved. I need to be a part of this family. That's coming from lack. That's coming from thinking I don't have what I need within me. So it was about 2 years before I finally did reach out to her. And yesterday we had a 2-hour conversation and it was absolutely fantastic. And a week and a half ago, we had a 2-hour video call. And she's 92. My dad's 92. And we are having more and more harmony in our relationship all the time. And it was not that way. And every time I decided to reach out to her, if I felt anything inside of me that wanted something, like I want her to love me again, I want her to approve of me, I want her to say she's sorry, I want her to give me something or whatever, I stopped and I went back to my own path. I refused inside of me to seek outside of me from her or anyone else that feeling of inner peace and self-love. And it catapulted me in not an easy or joyful way, but in a super powerful way by taking a pain, something that looked very bad, something that looked like, oh my God, what happened? What did I do? It's not fair. I didn't try to validate myself. I didn't try to explain. I didn't try to say, you're wrong. You should understand my point of view. You've got to let go of all of that and then enter that and notice where your attachments are. Okay, that's another secret to prosperity. So one of my absolute things I say every single day, many times a day, because I speak my reality, constantly creating my reality into being, is family harmony. It's one of the things that I say. I want a successful business because I want to serve more people. I want to reach you and 50,000 more people. I want to have a best-selling book because it means I'm going to leave a legacy for people. I'm going to leave these wisdoms for people. I can help and heal people I'll never meet. I may make the difference when they've been disowned, or they had a daughter die, or they lost all their money, or they were criticized, or they were abused, or they, had a failure when they really believed in something and put their self into it. I've been there and I want to serve. So I am at my deepest core. My desires is to live a sacred life aligned with my spiritual purpose in family harmony with my environment, with my clients, with my business, with the world. And that is at the core of what is now happening in my relationship. So we've had many, many years now that we've talked, and I've stayed at her house and I visit them, and not every year, but almost every year. And we've built our relationship back up. Now we're at a level where we're literally having a wonderful time. And sure, sometimes she's in a bad mood because she likes to say the world's going to hell in a handcart. And I don't try to change that for her. I send her love. Confidence. What is confidence? Why do you need confidence? Confidence is belief. Confidence is not pretending that you're better than someone else and standing on stage and saying, I'm better than you and you need to buy my shit. Okay. I've been there. I know those people. Fuck them. I'm sorry. Don't go there. If somebody's desperately bullying you, there's something going on and they're not confident and they probably don't know what they're doing. And what you buy from them is probably not going to get you there. I'm only saying that from experience, and I'm not blaming anybody. So confidence for you is how you feed that seed within you. Let's go back to the seed you plant. How do you have confidence that you will get that tomato seed to grow and give you tomatoes? Well, first of all, you get excited about eating tomatoes. You see the tomatoes in your mind. You go, wow, they're going to be big and beautiful and juicy, or little cherry tomatoes or whatever it is. And you see that plant prospering and then growing beyond what's normal. In Findhorn, if you've ever heard of Findhorn, it's very, very high up in Scotland. So when I went with Chris, I've been to Scotland several times, but when I went with Chris about 19 years ago. He's Scottish. His family actually knows their Scottish tartan and lineage. And we had to hunt down and buy the fabric for his mom and his aunt and everything. It was very fun. But going with him was a deep, profound experience because he felt it. He started vibrating. He started crying. When we started to drive near the border, we got out of the car. He laid on the ground. It took the experience to a whole new level. And a lot of people have this feeling about Scotland, which is why we're going, is that people go, oh, I got to go to Scotland. The one lady who already signed up, she said, if there's one place I could go before I die, it's Scotland. I have to go. There's just that feeling. Now, as far as the fire goes, what's the fire in Scotland? It is masculine fire. It is the fire of igniting. However, the whole place is filled with the Magdalene energy. It's filled with the sacred feminine energy. It's filled with the ancient Celtic energy. It's filled with the stones and the magic fairies and all the rest of that, and the unicorn energy. So we're going to tap into both of it. Confidence is that I'm growing these tomatoes. It's going to be so great when they're done. What if you did that with anything in your life? You start the project knowing that when you plant that seed, as long as you give it the right environment, it will prosper. And you imagine it and you encourage it and you speak to it and you see it and you visualize it and you dream tasting the tomatoes and you dream seeing the juicy tomato and you dream seeing all the beautiful leaves and the smell of a tomato plant. It has a very specific smell, right? The confidence is your belief. I have a belief. Whatever you've decided to believe in the past that is creating fear, lack, and whatever, you can take that back. That belief can die. It doesn't truth, it's an illusion. And you can now put that confidence, that energy into a different belief. I now believe that I have everything within me, that I am the source of everything, that it is within me, that it is my duty to prosper. I'm supposed to be a champion, be a winner, be a lover, be a happy person, be a generous person. I'm meant to live a rich life in whatever way that means it to me. That's what I'm supposed to do. And I'm actually not doing my duty to the universe. And I am not supporting the universe to become a place of light and beauty if I am believing all this other stuff and living that way. So you need confidence, okay? But it is not that masculine confidence that I used to think, like, be confident, pretend you've done it and fake it till you make it. You've got to pretend. You have to act until you can kind of embody it, but you're not faking in a bully way, okay? Joy, of course, we talked about peace. Joy is a very high vibrational state, and it brings happiness, and it brings satisfaction and fulfillment. So when you embody that, these are all the things that you can feed your seed. Am I joyful today? Am I feeling just an inner sense of, ooh, it's going to be so much fun when the tomatoes are here. It's going to be so much fun when I'm at the retreat. It's going to be so much fun when I buy that car I want. And it's going to be so much fun when I have family harmony. Okay. It doesn't have to be things. It can be every level of your being that prosperity is embodying, because we know all the stories of people who've chased money and they end up miserable. They end up alone. People leave them because they've forgotten the true value. Money is not the point. Money comes when you allow it to support the things. But the purpose is to connect to your spirit, to your source, to light, and embody that joy. Be generous with your compliments, with your thoughts. Be generous with yourself. Be grateful even when you don't see it yet. Well, I don't want to be grateful for what I have. This is a crappy life. This is a crappy car. This is a crappy relationship. I don't want this anymore. That's okay. Don't say I love this relationship. It's so great when it's not. That's another mistaken idea that we have out there from the new age. You are grateful every minute because the infinite abundance of the universe is already here, whether you see it or feel it or understand how to get it or not. That's what you're grateful for. You're grateful for your body. You're grateful for this life. You're grateful for this opportunity to be here at this epic moment in time and to be a part of the evolution of the world into peace, into beauty. Imagine what it's going to be like when we all start imagining the light, the world where everybody is an individual, spiritually expressed person, creating and expressing. It's like, you know what, today I want to express, and I'm going to garden, and I'm going to express, and I'm going to, draw, and I'm going to express, and I'm going to walk and talk to the plants. I'm going to whatever. Okay. Peace. We already talked about that. You have to have peace. You can't grow prosperous things in the middle of a war zone that's being hacked up and digging up the seeds. Okay. So now what's the difference between, so you've got your list, and on the other side, you start to write these things. What is the way I want to feel? What are the words I want to use? What are the words that will describe how I wish to feel? What are the statements instead of like, I never get what I want? What's the statement of like, everything that I require is already within me. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to let go of my belief in lack and allow it to rise within me. I'm going to go to sleep with on my lips, peace. Thank you. And then you go in and the mother starts to create peace in your life, right? So believable action. Here's the biggest problem with some of the coaching out there. How much money do you want to make in your business? Oh, I want to make $10,000 a month. You've never made $10,000 a month, but that's your goal. That's fine. Then the coach says, okay, now you need to double that. Oh, well, okay, $20,000 a month. What happens inside of you when you do that? Now you got to double it again, damn it. This is the truth of coaching that's still out there and that I went through and people I know. Maybe they're well-intentioned. I don't know. But what I can say is that's not going to work. Because if you do not step by step take yourself from where you are now into the next level, you're going to trigger doubt and fear, and you're going to manifest more of that. So if you've never made $10,000 a month and you really want to make $10,000 a month and you really believe in what you're doing and you're offering an amazing service and you're a social worker or a coach or a healer or an energy worker or whatever you're doing, and you just think, I can help people. I really want to help people. And I'm also ready to realize I don't have to be poor. Okay. Stop. Don't believe in this. You have to be poor to be spiritual. That's just nonsense. Okay. The universe literally made you agree to be rich in money, rich in harmony, rich in all those things. So if you push your belief past the point that you can even feel it, now you just kill everything you were doing. It just dies. Because now you're filled with fear and doubt. Like, oh, I can't even begin to imagine making $20,000 a month. But I have to do this. So be careful with success habits and principles and some of the things people teach. Let everything that you're learning from anyone that you feel called to, and I'm not criticizing anyone, because most people are teaching and really do desire, but they're often just repeating stuff. They've never really embodied it. And they're making money off of trying to tell you something. Look it inside. How does it make you feel? If it triggers something, good. Then say, ooh, I'm so glad to see that fear is there, and let it come up. Love it, accept it, acknowledge it, go into it, use it as a doorway. Do different processes that Tiffany knows, she was in the Wishes Fulfilled, that I help you understand laws of the universe. If you do push yourself past that point of belief, and I'm going to tell you how to do that and then come back to reality, then you will not be inspired. You will be depressed. You will be ashamed. You will trigger all of these energies that you don't want more of in your life, and it's just going to be natural. So be very careful. Now, believable action is you dream. Dreaming is meant to be huge, like I am going to change the world. I am going to share what I do, and I'm going to be happy, and flowers are going to bloom from my words, and ripe fruits are going to be offered to everyone's minds, and everybody's heart's going to open, and the whole world is going to wake up, and then we're going to all sing Kumbaya. Okay. Like that's my dream, like big, enormous, fabulous. But then you laugh and you enjoy it and you get creative because you're stretching yourself and you're imagining things. Well, what would it feel like? Then you come back down into the moment and you say, okay, what is my goal? What is my next step? What would be something I could do? I mentioned the other day, please give yourself little momentum. Give yourself little wins. Like, well, today I could get up and take out a notebook and just write dream journal or write book of manifesting secrets. And I could write 2 sentences in it. And then I'm going to walk around all day and feel really good about myself. Wow, look what I did. I totally stuck it. I did something. I took action. Way to go. Or are you programmed to say, well, I didn't do enough and I should have finished it all and I've got to go back and do it again. And how do I do it from here? You see? Dissatisfaction is rejection and lack of acceptance. You can't get out of the 4 states into the power states. That's the scale of consciousness. And then your belief, if you push it with your dreams and just say, oh my gosh, imagine if this was happening and I had $50,000 in my bank account and money poured to me every day and I never worried about my bills again. And then I could be creative and I could put all my energy into being loving and kind and generous and creating things. And then I could find interesting people and we could co-create projects and I could travel around the world and I could do this, I could do that. And I could give to charities and I could support the indigenous cultures and I could give to the animals. And oh my gosh, it would be amazing. But then you don't come back and say, oh, I don't know how to do it. I can't. You come back and you say, okay, that's wonderful. That's the big vision. Now, what is it I could do today? Believable action. Okay. Inspiration then rises within you. And inspiration is what happens to the seed. It gets inspired to free itself from its shell when it has the right warmth, the right environment, the right love, when you're speaking to it. We have scientific proof that plants are intelligent, they're alive, they're divine beings. And if you play beautiful music, Baroque music to it, it will grow 10 times as big as normal. If you play a bunch of violent music and certain types of rock and roll, and if it's an environment where people are yelling, it will not prosper. It will not grow. So we're going back to what I already taught you, right? So inspiration needs to be allowed to come from within you through your imagination, being allowed to run wild, and then coming back into the moment and saying, well, that was fun. Now, what could we do next? What could I do today? What could I do this week? Something easy for you to do, but then do it, feel it, imagine it. Tonight, I'm going to go to sleep and I'm going to see myself feeling peace, and I'm going to speak peace. And I'm going to imagine what that feels like, because I've described it to myself. I don't feel stress. I don't feel tension. What would peace feel like? Well, I would feel calm. I wouldn't be worrying. I wouldn't be trying to figure out solutions to stuff. I would be like, oh, you know what? You decide how, universe, you know, a million ways to make this happen. I'm so happy that I am already divine and this is all inside of me. And I'm just going to create an environment of peace, because in that peace, then the seeds of my soul are in that infinite field and they're inside of me and they feel good. And now they're going to wake up and say, ooh, I think it's safe now. I think the environment is right now. I think the timing is right now for me to let go of my old image, to let go of being a caterpillar, to turn to goo, and then to reform, to rebirth as the phoenix, as the butterfly. But I don't need to know what that is yet, because I have no idea. I'm just going to take that one tiny little step. And when you do, you say, yes, success. Give yourself some momentum. Keep giving yourself these ridiculously easy steps, because you'll feel good. And then celebrate yourself. Even if you feel silly, celebrating yourself. Okay. So now we're going to speak a new future into existence. Your new future, everything we've just talked about, is the thing that comes from that calm center where you feel safe, prospering, breaking out of your shell, letting go of your defenses, letting go of your beliefs that it's not safe, sprouting some roots, sprouting some leaves, letting your nervous system supporting it, right? Creating momentum. I just told you how, through unfolding success, little bits of success, feeling good about yourself from tiny little things. Oh, you know what? Today I ate a green juice and then I ate a candy bar, but I still ate the green juice. So good for me, right? No more struggle. Struggle is only for when you're like at that point that it's time to break out of the cocoon and you need that focus. There is a time for that, but it's not the struggle we're used to. Now, aligning your words, emotions, beliefs, and actions into the life you truly desire. That's why I'm telling you, you have to feel what it's going to be like. You have to use some words. You have to start to create the words, write them down, write it 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 down. Oh, by the way, I want to remind you, write it down, speak it out loud. These are powerful truths of universal laws that will accelerate your manifestation. And then you align those things together. So I have this image here that I created at the beginning of this year for the year of the fire horse. And what came to me was, this is the year of the phoenix. So I was inspired to bring this back to show you. And I also made some other art. Chris made these for me. This is you, right? You are now giving yourself permission to let that strength, a horse's strength and freedom. Horses are incredibly strong and they could break out of anything you've got them tied into. People break horses. They break their spirit. So they just sit there and wait for you to do things because they're beaten, and all kinds of other abuse is typically the way they're trained. So when you free that part of you, you no longer abuse that part of you. You no longer allow your inner fire horse be the broken spirit that sits in the stall waiting to be harnessed and led around and told what to do and whipped. Okay, this is the year we're in, and the horse is strong and runs free. If you've ever seen wild horses, it's one of the most beautiful, free amazing things of someone using their strength and enjoying their body and taking that inner peace and expressing themselves because they're free to run. This is your spirit. This is who you are. Now you know, the woman on here, this is, whether you're a woman or a man, this is your spirit, right? You're letting that part of you free, and it is going to rise up, and it is going to get on fire, and it's going to go fast, and it's going to take you somewhere you've never been. This is why we want to make sure that we are aligning our words, our thoughts, our feelings, and our intentions with our actions, so that where we're going really fast right now is where we want to go. And you can pivot on a dime. You can change directions. You don't have to keep going the direction you've been going. And this is a more calm fire horse with the violet flame, which transmutes and reconnects you to your purpose and instantly takes you into the sacred flame. And this is that quiet. You see her quiet inner peace. She's now, but you're on top of this horse. This is your spirit. Your spirit is free. Your spirit is strong, and it has the ability to ignite and to take off. And we're going to be working with Rhiannon, who's a Celtic horse, goddess of horses. So there's a common emblem or archetype for her in Scotland. But I want you to just feel these, okay? Just feel these essences, all right? So I'm going to leave you for a moment to feel into this. I'll be right back. Then I'm going to just dive right in to our experience. Let me just... Scotland in September. Yes, honey. Instead of Glastonbury. Exactly. What I am going to be in Glastonbury for the Portal to Ascension conference. And I will be doing a free class at the Goddess House one of those nights. It's the last week in August if you want to attend. I'm going to be speaking. I will have a booth there. I'll be selling lots of goodies. I currently have private access to the Chalice Well and the White Springs, and I'm looking to rearrange those dates to see if I can get them right around or during that conference so that we can do that. And that will be available to do those things with me either free or for a very minimal donation type of thing. And so if you are wanting to go to Glastonbury for that, absolutely. So initially I thought, well, we'll start in Glastonbury. We'll do 3 or 4 days there. Then we'll get on a plane and we'll go to Scotland. So it has evolved. And like I said, I'll be doing another show. I'm going to do a show on Saturday for the new moon, and we'll dive deeper into what are these deeper energies from Scotland that are calling us. Scotland and Glastonbury both sound amazing. They do. But what has unfolded is that we're going to start in Edinburgh. And then it took me to the next step, and we've divided. So there is 2 parts, and you can come to all of it or one or the other. We're going to start in Edinburgh. We're going to be doing a sacred day in Edinburgh with the castles, and there's a lot of other sacred energies there. Really beautiful, beautiful place. I love Edinburgh. It's going to be cold, so let's just be real. Scotland's cold. It's totally worth it, though. And then we're going to go to Rosslyn Chapel, which is only about 20 minutes from Edinburgh, and we're going to spend an entire day or a good portion of the day going into the chapel, downloading the codes, doing activations in there. It is full of all kinds of symbols that don't make sense. It's been encoded with vibrations, frequencies, and songs. And Chris is creating that song for us so we can actually hear it. It's, if you don't know about Rosslyn Chapel, it is literally one of the most unique places in the world. It's where they end up at the end of the Da Vinci Code, if you are familiar with that. So it is very much tied to that Magdalene energy. The Magdalens came, Mary Magdalene, but it is really more of a lineage. The Magdalens came and they said, we have to embody the feminine energy. So all throughout Scotland, there isn't like in Glastonbury, like Jesus came here and Joseph of Arimathea came here and put this tree down. And it doesn't have those kind of concrete, the Holy Grail is here things. But woven throughout the whole thing is the rose, the energy of the Magdalens. And the Magdalens is not Christian, and it is a whole other thing. We'll talk more about that. So Rosslyn is unequivocal. We cannot skip it. if you want to skip the first part, you can start in the Isle of Lewis. You can meet us there. That's the second part, so that's up to you. But you want to come to Edinburgh. Now, I'm going to be flying from Glastonbury to Edinburgh from Bristol. It's easy and it's very affordable. So if you want to do both of those, that's fine. And but we're going to start there, and it's going to be this one particular energy. The castles are very important there. Then we're going to go to Stirling with an I, and this is where the unicorn tapestries are, and it's where all of the kings and queens were crowned. So that energy is about us becoming sovereign, about us reclaiming our crown chakra, crown, as we are the authority of our life and all of that. So we're going to have these 2.5 days in Edinburgh starting, and then we're going to fly to the Isle of Lewis, and that's up to you. You pay for your own flight from Edinburgh to the Isle of Lewis, but it means we skip all of this 7 hours of driving like this and through Scotland, and we skip this almost 3-hour ferry to get to the Isle of Lewis. So I'm so pleased, because I kept insisting that Spirit show me, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to take all that extra time. I want to spend our time actually in the land and in the stones. Isle of Lewis then is the second half, and that is a longer part. And we're going to start on the Isle of Lewis. We're going to spend several days there. We're going to do Callanish stones, water dragons. The beaches there are amazing. So many different stones, different energies. We're going to be staying in this incredible place that is in this nature. We're going to be 15 minutes or something from the Callanish stones. Then we're going to go to the Isle of Harris, which is actually part of Callanish, has another energy. Then we're going to go stay 2 nights on Isle of Skye, where there's fairy pools and fairy glens and so many other energies. It's just cliffs and waterfalls, and there's so much to do. Then we're going to come in to the Highlands, which is often where people think of Scotland. But these are the most iconic places in Scotland, okay? And we're going to be going to Eileen Doonan, or whatever, castle. Again, they all have different energies. They all have different reasons. And we'll be doing a lot of nature, because it's just incredible wild nature. We're going to be at Loch Ness, and probably a couple other lochs. And we're going to be staying in Inverness. So then we will end in Inverness, and you can fly wherever you want. You can fly to London, you can fly to Edinburgh, you can fly home, you can fly wherever you want from Inverness. So I'll share more about that, but that's kind of how that morphed into that. So Glastonbury, I did the last 2 years, and then next year maybe we'll do a retreat in Glastonbury, but this is what has taken precedence from Spirit. And that's why I like to listen to Spirit, because they've been bugging me with Scotland, and I'm like, I don't know where to put it. I don't know when to put it. And then I was just like, we're just going to have to do it. And then it unfolded and unfolded and unfolded again. So I'll share more about that. So, okay, let me see. I'm going to do that. I think that's a good idea. So we're going to go back to this one. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this one for a moment. And so take everything we've been thinking and all your thoughts in your mind, and breathe, come into the space, come into the moment, let go of your to-dos, put your pen down, start to feel this part of you, this part of your spirit that you're setting free, that you're willing to create the environment for your inner spirit to be unleashed in its power, freedom, and strength to prosper. All right, because you're willing to have peace, and you're willing to get on your spirit and become one with your spirit, and let it be ignited on fire, which it is, and burn everything down that you thought was real, so that you can speak into truth and reality what it is that you feel you came here to create. All right, good. Here we are. Thank you for this offering. Oh, you're so welcome, sweetie. Thank you for acknowledging that I'm a source of knowledge and inspiration. That is my purpose, and that makes me feel very, very good because I know that I am living my purpose, and that's the most important thing to me. All right, now. Oh, yes. So remember to use your breath when you take a deep breath in. It is energy, it's divine, it's the breath of life. It is the breath of the universe. It is filled with all kinds of energy and light and colors. And you want to be like, ooh, thank you, and be curious, pay attention to what it is. So take a deep breath in, embody this incredible spirit, and declare to yourself, I am here right now to become, to be, to embody the divine that I decided to be in this life. I am here. I have opened the book of manifesting secrets that I carry within me. I have entered my subconscious mind in a sacred and reverent way. And I am now speaking my reality into being consciously. I acknowledge that I have been the one speaking my reality into being, that no one outside of me has power over me, regardless of what I thought or saw or was taught. That in this very moment, I am reclaiming my power as the creator of my reality. I'm transforming my words, thoughts, intentions, feelings, and actions to create my reality the way that I desire, the way that I imagine, the way that I dream of, because I am the only one who can do that. I am the only one who can speak the reality into being that becomes the radiant field and invites others into my reality. I have now come and I love myself. I honor myself for showing up for this, for listening, for taking the time, for being willing to open this door, to allow this inner part of me that has been hidden, shrouded, threatened, imprisoned. I am willing and ready right now to continue to go deeper into my own Akashic records, to my book of manifesting secrets. And now I am embodying that I speak prosperity, I embody peace, and I allow the possibility that I programmed into my soul, into that seed that is living within me, to allow it to come into being. It doesn't have to take a lot of time, stress. It doesn't have to take a lot of effort. It doesn't have to be a struggle, a sacrifice. It doesn't have to align to any of the thoughts, realities, limitations, and lack that I was taught, that I see around me, that I have put my confidence and belief into. I now stand separate, sovereign, and in the peaceful possibilities of my soul. I am now at peace within me. I feel the incredible spirit of freedom and strength, that horse, that phoenix, that infinite power that lives inside of me. I allow it to appear to my inner senses. I am no longer afraid of my own power to speak my words or speak my truth, to uncover the possibilities, magic, and manifesting skills that I have carried through time to this very moment. I feel the possibilities, the potential that is deep inside of me as I drop deeper and deeper into my beingness. I am the only creator in my reality. I am the only thinker in my mind. I am the only speaker that creates through my word, and my spells come from me. I allow them to be based in peace, to unlock my possibilities and my potential, to reveal to me little by little or in giant quantum leaps, in whatever way is optimal for me at this time, the truth of who I am, the joy that I love, that I wish to carry, the generous beauty I wish to radiate, the light I wish to be. It is possible. It is not an imagination dream of a little girl who's being silly and unrealistic. It is the power of the universe. And those who have held me prisoner inside of myself to keep my dreams, stop dreaming, stop imagining, stop being silly, stop being unrealistic. You have to work hard. Who do you think you are? I allow all of those right now to freeze and drop, to shrivel up and blow away like dead leaves in the fall. They no longer have permission to create my reality. I now declare I am the one who creates the environment, the safety, the security, the foundation, the environment that allows me to prosper, that nourishes me and nurtures me and inspires me, that opens doors and brings ideas and brings excitement and synchronicities on my path. The truth is, that is what I am designed for. I am designed for joy, generosity. I am designed to dance with the universe, to see and feel the love and beauty inside of all life, plants, animals, trees, water, people, buildings, and the moon. I allow that to be my truth now, that to be my foundation now. And I declare and decree that from this moment forward, I will water those seeds. I will be the one that reveals the possibilities by feeling peace within me, by allowing peace to grow. I have reclaimed my power from fear, overwhelm, and the opinion of others and the outside world. I now declare that the power I gave those things, the belief I had in those things, the confidence that I put into those things is now revoked, is complete, and I burn those contracts. I throw them into the fire of this year. I throw them into the year of the fire, the horse, the phoenix, because I no longer allow myself to continue. I burn this forest down. I burn down the reality I created. The limitations cannot hold me. The masks cannot keep me hidden any longer. And I'm the one that decides. I'm the one that decrees. I'm the one that has reclaimed. I am the one that remembers the ancient secrets and the cosmic initiations and all of the times I've traveled the universe. I've decided on purposes and lifetimes and bodies. I reclaim the fear and the pain and the decrees and the contracts and the vows I've made through lives. I reclaim from my ancestors and my DNA any of these limits. I am no longer allowing the power and energy of my words to create lack, to sabotage my truth, to drain my power, to overwhelm my body, my mind. I'm the one that designs my reality. And by my words, I will be justified. And by my words, I will no longer be condemned. I no longer agree to be a victim, to be weak, to be at effect of the past, the present, or others. I know the power of my word, and I am very careful with this power. I no longer use this wand without discernment. My words go out from me and create things, create worlds, affect others, and come back to me. They never come back empty. They come back with blessings or they come back with curses. They come back with retribution or they come back with inspiration. Through my spoken word, I now continually and continuously and consistently and persistently make laws for myself and my reality because I am the one. My wand is my word, and it is filled with magic and power. Not magic of a silly act, but magic of the universe, magic of source, the true laws of the universe that can perform miracles, that can move a mountain, that can dissolve a disease. There is nothing within me that can hold me back because death and life are in the power of my tongue. My word is my wand. It transmutes. It dissolves. I turn my back on all I have created that is failure and my belief in failure. And I allow my failure habits, my failure words, my lack ideas and energies and beliefs to dissolve in the fire and be reborn as beauty, success, joy, love, riches, infinite harmony, bliss, generosity, creativity, dancing and dancing with the universal supply, which is endless within me. It is never ending and it is immediate. It is here right now. It does not require me to take time. And I demand now, and I command now, and I decree now, and I no longer believe that it is wrong for me to decree. I no longer feel awkward or uncomfortable deciding that I am the one that chooses and creates, and I do not take anything from anyone else because I am the only one that can receive the ripe fruits from my own harvest. I sow what I reap. Others sow what they reap. I do not accept the curses of others as having an impact on me. All my needs, all my desires, all my creations, all my joyful ideas manifest instantly in the external world as I speak them with confidence, love, and power. The truth is that I do not agree with overwhelm. I refuse to allow myself to be distracted, emotionally exhausted, trapped in cycles of fear and stress and struggle and limitation, to give my power to the past, to my failures. I am up for this challenge, and it is not what is happening outside of me. It is what I have agreed to speak within me. My words, my thoughts, my emotional patterns, my feelings, and my actions now align. They become congruent. They flow together. They become like a harmonic symphony. My words are not here to describe reality or retell the story of pain and fear. They are creating my reality. Every thought creates reality, and I now take back my power to choose what I think. Every reaction that I have is a choice. I no longer have fearful conversations. I have inspirational or neutral or creative conversations inside of me and outside of me. I no longer complain and blame and judge and hand my power over to what has happened to me and decree that I am powerless. No, no, no. I am the divine. I agreed that my duty in this life would be the one that became aware of this. And I'm here. I showed up. I totally nailed it. I stuck it. I am on time. I am the right person at the right time. And the instructions of the universe are encoded within me. My ancestral trauma is released. I no longer have to repeat those patterns. Victimhood, lack, it's not here. It's not a part of me. This isn't silliness. This isn't hopeful, positive thinking. This is practical, actual, spiritual laws in action that create transformation now. And I give my power and belief to that and unhook it. I no longer reinforce struggle, fear, chaos, overwhelm. I no longer create from that place. I now declare peace is within me. Peace is in my words. Peace is in my mind. Peace is in my heart. Peace is in my vision. Peace is what I see in the world. Peace is what I call on. Peace is what I conjure. Peace is what I have confidence in, is what I believe in. The possibility of the future exists inside of the peace, and the seed of my soul is now embodied in the richest soil of divine light, liquid light, because I am one with the universe. I've never been separate from it. It is all inside of me. And it no longer drains me. It empowers me. It uplifts me. It nurtures me. It nourishes me. I say that, I declare that, and it is true. And I don't wonder and look for it. I know that it's true. The minute I say it, it is done. And then I allow myself to find it, to see it, to look for it. It's a treasure hunt, because the treasures within me I have ignored, I have denied, I have not allowed them to grow, because they've absorbed the collective fear, because they've blamed things, and that lower states of consciousness of fear and condemnation and blame and victimhood and desperation and disappointment. I've allowed all the past, all the ancestor, all the beliefs that are running around in the world right now, disempowering people. It's okay. I don't care. I'm not going to get upset about it. But right now, I've reclaimed that I am the energetic authority in my life, that I feel grounded and calm and empowered again. The universe is always listening. And now I speak into existence. I walk, I talk, I embody, I feel, I know that there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can take away my decision. And when I speak it, I awaken to it. When I choose it, it begins to create. And I live from the truth of my divine power. I never stop believing in it until it is actually manifested. I am touching it. I am tasting it. I am seeing it. I am enjoying it. I am the power that creates. And my intuition grows and it leads me. And I enjoy the path of unfolding. I don't need to see it to believe it. I know that it's true. I declare it. I speak it. And now, like that seed, like that tree, like that tomato plant, I am clear that peace, purpose, and power exist within me. And I now nurture myself, my body, my inner child, my fear, the past me that was killed or burned or denied or outcast or ridiculed. I gather all those parts of me. I bring them into my embrace. I take them deep into my heart, deep into the place within me where this activation right now opens the door in my subconscious mind to the future existence that came with me, already formed, already true. My words align, my emotions come into dancing. We're starting to harmonize. My beliefs dissolve and start to take new shapes. I know the words that I want to speak. I know the feelings I want to feel. I hold the intention that everything I speak creates the world. That even if I don't see it right now or today, or I don't know why or when or how, I surrender that to the universe, because the universe, God, Mother, Source, the divine, everything is on my side, loves me, never judges me, believes in me, supports me, guides me, enlightens me, illuminates me. There is nothing that is withheld from me, because my words become things and my thoughts become the furniture and the house and the clothes. And my words have energy and a power to help and to heal me and others and the world, or to hurt and humiliate and harm. And I no longer do that to anyone. What I do to others, I do to myself. What I do to myself, I give to the world. I now realize and ask for humility to rise within me. That's the power to understand. I am divine. I am magnificent. I am power. I am the only operant power. I no longer wait for someone else to rescue me and to create this. If I need the money, it will be here. I declare the end result that I want. I embody that feeling. I step into my wish fulfilled. I know the end result already exists. It's already here within me. There is nothing that can hold me back. And I take the shortcut and I embody the secrets. And I know I speak prosperity because I am willing to support myself with the most optimal environment that I personally need. And no one else needs to agree to it. No one else needs to understand it. No one else needs to give me permission. I give them all permission to do what they want. I give them all permission, and I send them love to do whatever they wish. They'll find their path, because I know when I give myself permission to rise from this, to light myself on fire, to find the strength and freedom of that inner spirit of my horse, and I begin to ride it, and I begin to feel it, and I begin to let everything die and burn down, and I rise from the ashes, and everything dissolve, and I rise again as the butterfly. Every single thing in every moment has permission to die on the vine, because I am the destroyer and the creator of worlds. I raise my words, not my voice. The rain that grows flowers is soft, sweet, and ever present. It is not thunder that nurtures the prosperity, the fruits, the flowers, the leaves, the growth, the expansion of any being, any seed full of potential. It is the soft belief, generous gift of the words that bless and love. The riches are in my mind. I have faith. I allow the enthusiasm to rise from these fires within me. I don't need to generate, to struggle, to strive. I need to surrender, accept, decree, relax, sit back, and smile as the love that I've given myself allows that inner me to begin to grow, to put down roots, to break that seed, to sprout beauty. I impress now on my subconscious mind to open the doors. I have love and I have faith. I have belief, I have confidence. If I don't know it, I know I'm in the right place and that it is somewhere within me. And I now conjure it. I call it. I ask for it to come forward in a way that I will feel. I am guided. I am secure and I am safe. I joyfully giggle when an old habit comes up. Oh, I remember you. Yeah, you're not truth. Thanks anyway. I played that game. I'm done. From this moment forward, I am depositing into my subconscious mind peace, prosperity, joy, and love. All of those things that nurture the environment for me to prosper. I grow in the darkness within. I share my dreams with no one. I don't allow anyone's doubts, anybody's supposed excuses or logic to interrupt the magic of my soul. Because these seeds were deposited within me, I'm now responsible to create an environment for them to grow. And I give them permission to grow inside of my heart, inside my subconscious, inside of the depths of darkness and shadow, but not because they're full of fear, not because they're hidden, not because I'm separate from them, not because I believe in lack, but because they need that nurturing. And my full supply is given permission now to rise within me in joy and family harmony, in peace and creativity, in financial supply and never-ending abundance, in beautiful relationships and incredible beauty. The harmony and dance and song of the universe dances with me because infinite intelligence is within me. It knows how to garden and grow. It knows what I need to grow from this place of weakness, this belief in lack, this acting out and playing this person who's powerless, because all that I now give my power to is truth, beauty, liberty, harmony, reverence, joy, gratitude. I am at peace and I am infinitely prosperous. In this peaceful inner place, all of my seeds of my soul, all potential and possibility of incredible, magnificent things I have not even begun to be able to imagine, begin to stir. I continue to create and protect the seeds of my soul, and I step into my path. I walk with every breath, thought, and step with this energy. I use my power of my words, my thoughts, my feelings, and my actions to grow a world around me, within me, and radiating from me of infinite supply. That's the truth. That's what I declare. That's what I believe. That's what is going to be for me. I allow now for my sentences to use the power of destruction to decay and dissolve all that no longer serves my highest good. And I allow my words to be the power of creation that heals, inspires, and nourishes. I am careful with my words. I allow them to be powerful. They're free, and I use them in a way where they are investments. They do not cost me. I invest in myself. I invest in my future. I invest in myself, and I allow all of the universe to find their path in perfect divine timing and in ways. Come into your body. Come into this moment, feeling this. You have decreed, you have declared, this must be delivered to you. It is the law of the universe. The more boldly that I declare this, the more I am willing to repeat it 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day before I go to sleep, every day, regardless of if I see the results yet. I do not lose faith. I keep using my power. I keep investing my words. They are what are going to make this world beautiful in exactly the way that I desire. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. It is done. It is done. It is done. I have decreed it, and it is so. The universe, the angels, and all the elementals rush now to this powerful confidence, to this intention and this declaration, because I am supported by the universe and I feel them. There they are. I can feel the light. I can feel the joy. I can feel that now I have started to crack the shell that was full of fear and protection and believed in overwhelm. Now I am supported. Now I am empowered. Now I am healed. I am rejuvenated. I am nourished. I am renewed. And that is who I am. And I leave this moment and I walk and I talk and I speak and I see from this place until it is the truth, fully tangible. And it is so, and it is decreed, and it is done. It must appear. As long as I hold the truth of this and reinforce it, I cannot fail. Source is always successful. Everything that Mother, Father, God chooses to grow and plant succeeds. And that is me. And I've now remembered that I agreed to be the gardener of my seeds of my soul and embody this. So the dream of the reality I chose to bring into form can take root and begin to prosper. Thank you, thank you, thank you. May this circle be open yet unbroken, and the peace and power and prosperity and joy and abundance and infinite riches of this moment walk with me. I know they're here, and I declare the truth. That is period. As we dissolve this sacred infinity healing chamber and this 3-day challenge, we give great thanks to all the levels of angels, spirit, divine light, and love, each of our own inner spirits that have come together to call this into being, to manifest this into the world. And we now gift this and acknowledge this into the Akashic records, that this is now a thing. That this door, this portal into the subconscious, this portal into being the creator, this book of manifesting secrets is now open for anyone, anywhere, in any time, in any place, in any condition, in any situation, no matter where they are, no matter how powerless they feel. This is now a beacon of light for everyone that wishes and is willing to open their heart. And I see it now radiating into people's hearts and minds across the planet, into lands, into war, into fear, into greed, into all that I believed in, and softening and dissolving it all and nurturing everyone's hearts, that we all remember we are the guardians and gardeners of this place, this garden of prosperous beauty. This is the truth we came here to embody, and now it has been given permission to grow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please thank yourself 25 times today. Reclaim this speak these words, do everything we've talked about. Come and join me in my class so we can go further, we can go deeper, we can embody this incredible experience together, and we can create something truly powerful, truly mystical, truly incredible and real. We are the ones. I walk in a world of light. It isn't that I don't know that there's pain and things happening in the world, but I refuse to agree to them. I refuse to make them my reality, and I refuse to use my power to speak them into being anymore. Now you can too. You know how. Let's take this to the next step. Come and join me next week. Just go to shop@nanakasha.com. There's a link down below. And then reach out to me if you would like to talk about Canada or Scotland. These are beyond powerful. There's really no words to explain what it's like to get out of your reality and experience a different environment. We co-create a sacred cocoon with the land, the animals, with the trees, with the water, with all the different magic, the Native Americans, the healers, the people we're calling on, the places we're going, the stones, the temples. And it's the people, it's us that create community, that will hold this vision long enough to take root, that hold it in love, willing to guard and to nurture the seeds within us, because what we do for us, we do for others. Bless yourself, love yourself, give yourself so much congratulations, and thank you for being here with me. It's been a true honor. Namaste. You're so welcome. Thank you, everyone. Namaste. Have a beautiful and blessed day. I look forward to seeing you soon. Bless you for gifting me and all of life. You're so welcome, Marnie. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Don't judge yourself for where you are. Congratulate yourself for being here, being willing to go through what you've gone through, all of us, and being here to show up over and over again, saying, no, I'm not settling for this. I refuse to allow this to keep creating my life. I'm ready to do this. Because once you and I and each of us break free and begin to create on purpose, it's not just for us to feel peace and happiness and bliss and joy and find our soulmates and our friends and create money and joy and beautiful experiences. But then that's the reality we create, because everything that we experience, the mirror, reality around us, gets to experience it too. This is how we heal the world, by going in and healing ourselves. How much fun was this? Thank you so much. I'm so blessed. I'm going to go dance. Bye.